goodness. Well, hello. How's everyone doing? Can I get a yay? Okay. I'm just curious who I have in the room. Who has been in real estate less than a year? Just raise your hand. Oh, okay. Welcome to a great career at a fun time. Who has been in the business, say, 2 to 5 years? Okay. And then who has been here over five, let's say 5 to 10 years? Okay. Any more than 10-year sisters in real estate? Yay. Okay. All right. So that lets me know that I probably was thinking correctly. I don't have a canned speech. I don't. I still marvel at the fact that Colleen wanted me to come and speak with you. So I am honored to share time with you today, my sisters in real estate. And I'll tell you what my prayer has been is that in our time together, I will connect some or reconnect those of us that have been in the business for a little while to why you love what you do or why you're doing what you do. And maybe ignite or reignite a passion for it that makes probably the next year and a half and the extra work and challenges that we are facing and will face be connected to something that feels worthwhile, right? Because it can't be just about the money. So I'm going to chat with you a little bit, just some thoughts, and then I'm going to leave a little time if you have any questions and you want to kind of get into a dialogue. Because I've been with Keller Williams and in the business for 20 years. April 1st, 2003, I joined in Atlanta and I said, either this is a real good decision or the worst April Fool's joke I could play on myself. And we know if I'm still here 20 years later, it turned out to be a really great decision. I am an agent still with my initial market center, First Atlanta in Atlanta. And then as you can see from my design stuff, I'm now currently in Los Angeles. As a matter of fact, I want to take this silly background out because we're just going to have us a little family conversation, if that's okay. So this is my real world, if you will, when I'm coaching. So, in my Keller Williams lifetime, I have been solo agent trying to figure it all out in what may be, when we look back in history, the most challenging period in real estate. That was the mid 2000s. Those of us that weren't even in the business, you know what happened between 05 and 07, 08, right? You remember that. I went from that to really engage with our technology and finding that my passion for staying connected to the business was by helping other agents, and certainly other agents, lady agents, because it's a little different. It's a little tougher for us. That's just factual. I went on to become a director of education in a market center, on to be a productivity coach, as well as assistant team leader. So I've done a lot of the things. But what I have figured out is none of the titles matter if the life you're living because of the work you're doing isn't serving you well. So story time. About 9 years ago now, I was getting ready to plan my 50th birthday. Oh, it was going to be big time, big time. I was going to travel, party, all of this stuff, because of course in California, we're extra. And I had a life that I was doing all those things and I was enjoying being the go-to person and all of that. I also had figured out that I needed to have periods of time where I took time for me. And for me, my love language is traveling. So I might go hard, don't care how many hours I work, don't care what's going on. For about 12 weeks was my max out. And then I would take a little plane ride somewhere. And at the time I was dating a guy in New York. So that was my getaway. So it's about, it was January. And I had just come from an ALC meeting and I had a really sharp pain in my stomach. Didn't care because I was getting on the plane. Didn't care because I had suffered. What was to suffer? It was my getaway time. Don't care. I had gone to a salad bar, and instead of getting a hamburger, I got a salad. So I had rationalized that because I went and little Timmy with his little germy hands was touching everything, I had food poisoning. Because in addition to being an amazing realtor, I went to the medical school of Google. So I self-diagnosed. I'm in this pain. And true story, now California has crazy numbers. I had accepted a wealth challenge, an abundance challenge from my team leader at the time. And I had purchased a couple of first-class tickets to places. And one was on Virgin America, that nice cushy seat. Listen, don't tell anybody, $1,000 for one way. I know, crazy, but I was all in on the challenge. So there was no way, I don't care what the pain was, I was leaving. Let me fast track it. That was during the time when they had the huge snowstorm up in New York. Everything was shut down. Unbeknownst to me, my appendix had ruptured. Yet I was on a plane. Yet I was stuck in New York for 5 days. And I was in a lot of pain. A lot of weird stuff was happening with my body. Still, they didn't know that I was marching towards being up out of here, because that's what it was. I had, I woke up in the middle of the night and I just had this energy, this vision that said, fool. And it said, fool, if you don't go home, you're not going to make it. And I am obedient, at almost 5 decades, I'm obedient to energy and signs. So because I had purchased the first class ticket, I was able to get out of New York quickly. So abundance saves lives. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I get home, and within 24 hours, I'm in emergency surgery. Within 36 hours, a doctor is telling me, sweetie, you had less than half a day to live. Because not only had my appendix ruptured, I was walking around with that poison. They couldn't understand why I was still here. And they say God takes care of babies and fools. And, I think I look youthful, but I'm not a baby. So I'll put myself in that crazy category. And I said, it must be a reason I'm here. Has to be, because by science or medical understanding, I should not have been here. I should have been laid out. So I figured out that my job is to share with people like me that you never want to have a life that is so stressful, that's choking you such that you are so busy running away from it that you don't listen and take care of yourself. Now, don't confuse that with hard work, responsibilities. Sometimes life gets a little heavy. That's not what I said. What I said was, you don't want to have a life that is so just tightens you so that doesn't serve you, that you're running away from it, because you will miss how to take care of yourself. So after all of that, obviously I'm here almost 9 years later. I started thinking I have to do something different, new life. So I started looking at, well, what were the things that made me kind of set up that situation? It was my money or responsibilities of, and we all have that. It was, in some cases, the circle I had. And it doesn't mean I'm a square, corny person. Never had a bad circle. But be careful, sister friends in real estate. Sometimes the circle that's close to you is not serving you, or what you share with certain aspects of your circle is not serving you. I'll get back to that in a second. And then I also started to look at what kind of business, what did I want to do? What did I want to do? So the first thing I did is grant myself grace to make decisions that are best for me. Grant yourself grace. Because we do it for other people, right? We'll tell somebody to take care of you, put you first. The first order of business is to grant yourself grace. In our company, and for those who are new, it may sound a little cliche-ish, but when we say God, family, and business, 20 years in, I'm here to tell you that's the absolute truth, the way we navigate. So let's talk about that mantra those levels and what it means to you. Number one, if you really focus on God, family, and business, you're able to build a bunker around you. Well, what do you mean by bunker, Mahogany? You sound like stuff is terrible. No, it's just creating the life and having the energy to be the most joyous, joyful, purpose-filled person at any moment. I still subscribe to this. You see, I keep it here to remind myself and to remind when I'm talking to agents. But it starts with you. So let's start with God. I'm not going to name a denomination. It's not about where you go to church on Sundays or Saturdays. It's not about any of that. It is about understanding that life is bigger than us, and it's certainly greater than transactions, right? What I will encourage is that however you view God, what it means to you, the universe, however that shows up for you, be connected to it on a daily basis. We're in a time, would everyone agree that we're in a time that we need as many people connected to their God force or the energy of good more than in any time before? Can we all agree? Can I get some nods on that? Right? A very good friend of mine happened to have been in Israel when war broke out. And I will tell you, didn't matter what faith, between myself, which most people know me as the little Black girl that prays in Japanese when I participate with the inspirational breakfast. But we prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed to get her up out of there. And within 2 days, she was out. But she said to me about a week ago that after 20 years of wearing her name badge, she no longer wears it because she's afraid for her safety. That's a sad and scary world, right? And it makes me double down on reminding us that we have to work really hard, just in our own little piece of the world, to be the other side of this darkness. We have to. And again, it's however it shows up for you, but there is nothing that has to take place in our business, in our lives, every morning that supersedes just getting grounded and connected, because you need it. It's like a coat of armor. Family. Family, for me, is a little dog named Lady. Actually, she's not even my dog. She's my dad's dog, but I live in a triplex, and he's allergic to her. So at night, she comes into my house, party. And we have treats that he doesn't know about, and we watch TV. That's my family. I wasn't blessed with a husband and children. I do have two parents that I call the toddlers because they're 86 and 89. And the 89-year-old has a girlfriend. So I have a bonus toddler. She's 83. Lucky me. But really understanding and embracing that. Now, remember I talked about giving yourself some grace. Let's keep it real. We can love family and the people around us, but there are times where you just want to, right? And we feel guilty because we feel how we feel. I'm going to encourage you to consider that in those moments, it's okay. It's okay. An example, again, my toddler parents, they drive me nuts. I'm an only child. It's all me. And there are days that I'm angry. Some days I am sad. Most days I'm, of course, I'm appreciative every day that I have them. And I start to feel guilty because I had these feelings of feeling like some of my life was being taken away. And a friend reminded me, no, it's okay to feel how you feel. That's honoring who you are. Now, this will be the part when I say that don't confuse that with complaining, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about acknowledging who you are and where you are any particular time or day. I will tell you, faking it and acting like we don't feel like we feel is the most exhausting energy suck in the world, right? Then when it comes to business, we're lucky. We get to choose who we work with. How many people, when you look around, you look at your friends groups and people you know, your family, maybe your partners, your husbands, who gets to choose who they work with? I say that we're very, very fortunate. But therein lies are we taking care of our business in a way that really serves us? Now, this is where, since, we're in the real estate meeting, that's when I'm gonna get to the real estate conversation. HGTV and all the shows on TV will have us focus on the sexy of real estate, right? We drive up and we say, here's a kitchen, here's a bath. I take my commission now. Thank you so much. That's not how it works at all. At all. I will tell you that what probably feels mundane, unsexy, not exciting, which is, here I go, Coach Mo, lead generation. What kind of time are we spending in that? Are we doing our activities on a regular, consistent basis? That is how you get to the life that you want and the clients that you want to work with. Does that make sense? How many people, this is the first time you've heard this? Good. No hands up. Thank you. No, seriously, it is. I remember years ago, probably 15 years ago, Gary Keller talked about the ones who have the best life and the life they want, the ones who get very proficient at the mundane, the ordinary, the regular, right? But the beautiful thing is when you do it in a systematic way, so it's on our schedule, we know when we're doing what we're doing, it doesn't take over your whole life. You have your whole rest of your life to make it interesting and exciting and all that good stuff. But here's where the bunker comes. When it comes to God, when it comes to faith, remember I said get connected. Whatever faith you practice, whatever you believe in, study and connect with those that share that with you. That's a bunker around your faith. Makes sense? Now, I'm not saying you have to go any particular place, however that looks for you. But what I'm saying is, in a world that is testing us, in a time in the world that is testing us, the more connected you are to your faith walk, the stronger you become. That becomes the bunker. That becomes the bunker. So if it's meditation, if it's chanting, if it's prayer, if it's studying, whatever it is, make time for it. Make it a priority. Same way when we have a nail or hair appointment, we know when that is, right? Make time for that. Number two, when it comes to with family, a bunker around it. Meaning the time we have with our family, our friends, who we make as our family, is very precious. Give it the priority. And this, okay, this is my thing, but maybe someone else can relate. When we are with our family and friends, please put down the phone. If you have not handled, say, something with a transaction or, dealing with a client, in that time that you're saying, I'm connecting with someone that's important to me, be present. Be present. To think that we have more time later is extremely arrogant. Extremely arrogant. And that doesn't mean from a, oh my goodness, they're going to, pass away perspective. But I mean, life is life. But still, to assume that I'm in this moment, I'm eyeball to eyeball with you. But when you look at me, I'm doing the Mo Anderson used to call it the Blackberry prayer. Because, everybody's head's down. She can tell when you're doing that. Okay. But be present. That's how you build a bunker around the relationships that matter, that fortify you. Okay. Build a bunker around taking care of you. What do I mean? Something as simple as for me, when it's dinner time, it's dinner. My phone is not open. I'm not on TikTok. Okay, sometimes I go down the rabbit hole because they have really cute German Shepherd videos, but I digress. But I'm not doing 5 other things. If I am fortifying my body, if I'm enjoying a moment with myself, I do it. I do it. I promise you, those little bitty changes can change the whole energy of the world. Because here's the thing. No one's coming to save us. They're not. We're our own hero, our own shero, our own protector. So we have to make sure that we're doing the things that honor this gift that is life. Okay? We have to. I am not the one to tell you that you should be working from sun up to sundown. Not going to do it. I'm not the one to tell you that your clients should be able to catch you 24/7, 7 days a week. Don't agree with that. Nope. What I will tell you is that if you honor your life and your work by putting priorities on the things that need it in their time. Watch this, the coach in me. Let's call it calendar. Let's call it schedule. I know you've heard that before, right? Time blocking. Yeah, that's real. And you don't time block yourself crazy. You just know what you're doing and you protect the time. If you have time blocked to go to sit and study and chant or pray, meditate, whatever, protect that time with your life. Do not flip it up. If you set the time to actually meet someone, a client, a friend, or what have you, for lunch, don't play games with it. You know what? I'm running a little late. Can we do it tomorrow? Don't do that. Build a bunker around the relationships. When it comes to your business, you know what to do. You know that in order to get leads, you have to generate that business. Protect that time. When it comes to you, if you have children and their events, okay, true story. Had a friend that she was very, very successful. My friend made big money, like 500 and something thousand a year as a solo agent. Woohoo. She looked over at her kid one day and the kid was playing, you know how children do, about I'm playing pretending I'm mommy. And this kid was just beating on the computer and pretending he was on the phone. Nothing wrong with your children or your friends seeing you work, but that had become her life. She had become so obsessed with the work, which was very successful. And then she felt a little guilty, which was easy. I said, just change how you do the time. That was it, right? It is an interesting time in real estate. It's an interesting time in the world. Doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean it's good. It means that it is. And what are we going to do with that? I mean, seriously, that's it. It just becomes every day. I know for me, when I wake up, I say, what am I going to do today that I'll feel great about? Sometimes it's just talking to the people that walk the neighborhood with their dogs. I know the dog's name. I don't know my neighbors, but yeah, they understand. But what am I going to do? It's attitude, it's energy, it's perspective. And this is a final plus I'll add on. Tap in. You happen to be sitting in a building within a company under the arms of a leadership group who is focused on each and every life in this room getting to the life that you want. Would that be fair, Colleen? Yes. Am I saying it right? Yes. Okay. You have the resources and you have the support. Tap in. No one's coming to save you. You're your own hero. And the most heroic thing we can all do right now is tap in to the support that's there for us. It is as simple as that. Simple as that. Now, life be life, and that's what the kids said. It's true, right? Something can happen at any time. Did you know we had an earthquake here this morning? I didn't know if I was going to be able to be with you. I was too busy hiding and scared. Lives. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. That's really my thoughts on all of it. I'd really, if someone has a question, comment, one knows them, ask away. You got me.
Thanks, Mahogany. That was amazing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Anyone have any questions, comments for Mahogany at all? Yes.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful.
You want to come up here? Sorry. I don't know if she can hear you. Do you mind?
Yeah.
Kristen's coming up. She has a question for you.
I love seeing a room full of people. You guys don't even understand. You ladies don't even understand. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I just had a question. You mentioned you're licensed in 3 states. Kind of at what point in your career you went that path?
Okay, so it's actually 2 states. I started, I'm from Los Angeles. Thank you for the question. I started in Los Angeles. Well, I'm from Los Angeles, but I lived in Atlanta. And when I was leaving my first career, which I was in fitness and nutrition and all that stuff, got my license there. And then about 12 years ago, of course, remember those adult toddlers I mentioned? They started, having issues, and I'm a mommy and daddy's girl. And I started thinking about what would happen if something happened to them. And now I'm back in LA, but now I'm stuck without any options. Remember that part I said about you have to be your own hero? Sometimes we have to think ahead too. So it was one of my visits when I was kind of going over some medical things with my mom. I said, I think I better get licensed because I didn't want to be stuck in LA with no options. And then followed my gut. Remember, I shared that I listened to when I don't know what energy, but gives me some clarity. And got my license, and literally a year afterwards, I found myself back in Los Angeles full time. I had turned the plane around. So that's how I do it. It's actually not as rare as you think. It's rare to have such a span. I'm literally on 2 coasts, right? West Coast, East Coast. But there are many agents that work maybe surrounding states or what have you. And that can be done a number of ways. You have to decide that that's the life you want. Now, I want to remind you guys, because it's the coach in me, the fact that you have 1 real estate license means you can help and do business across the world, because we're in not only number 1 in the United States, number 1 across the world. So just if you're not thinking about that and you're not telling the people that know you, even outside of your particular license area, you can help anybody anywhere. You can actually develop a business, connect with partners anywhere. This can be as big as you want. Hope that answers the question.
Mahogany, do you want to announce your exciting news in Atlanta where you were last week?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Thank you for that. So last week, history was made in the Southeast region. The very first minority owned market center opened up. That means the majority of the ownership group are minorities and / women. First time in the Southeast region. Additionally,
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's KW West Atlanta. Even though it's not on the west side, that's always interesting. Also, the OP is the youngest OP in our system. She is 32 years old. Her name is Gabby Maddox. And what makes it so exciting for me, aside from the fact that for a long time, I was the only KW person in board leadership in the city of Atlanta. For a long time, I was the only Black woman on the north side. All those first, the people that built this market center, probably 70% of them are in my downline. They came from, at some point, a connection I made with an agent who came to KW. So it's like, yay. Thank you for that. Yeah, it's send them good energy. And if you know someone that's looking to get into real estate, not move from another KW, but somebody new looking to get into real estate in Atlanta, definitely the West Atlanta office is one to look at. They are doing big things.
Anyone else have anything else? Okay. All right, Mahogany, just want to say thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts with us today and be here at Keller Williams Greater Metropolitan in Cleveland, Ohio.
I love it. Thank you so much. I have one question. Who will I see at family reunion? Who will I meet in person?
Yay.
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 Listen, now I can't say the hair is going to be the same. Don't count on that. But find me. I do what I want to do. But find me. Hugs, please. Let me know how life is going. And you see my jacket, Lady Leaders. That is a group on Facebook. If you are not connected, that's another way to bunker around being a woman in this business, and make sure we see you at the event there. And that's my commercial. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.